Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to this video. I'm Venkat and this is Just Me, an open source channel. Right, in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can use Calico as the overlay network in your Kubernetes cluster. While provisioning your Kubernetes cluster. So for those of you who have been following my Learn Kubernetes series, the first few videos were about how to provision your Kubernetes cluster by different means. So I started by using the kubeadm method by directly or manually provisioning the Kubernetes cluster using kubeadm, and then I automated it using various bootstrapping scripts and then using Vagrant and VirtualBox to automatically provision. So I guess some of you might be using my Vagrant file to bring up your Kubernetes cluster. And then we used microKatus, Minikube, LXD, and then finally Kubernetes in Docker kind, right? Okay, so this one, the idea of doing this video today is just to try a different overlay network. So all my videos, I've been using Flannel as the overlay network for pod-to-pod communication, inter-pod communication. We've been using Flannel. If you look at my Vagrant Bootstrap script, you'll be seeing kubectl apply the Flannel network or the Flannel manifest. So for this video, I'm going to be trying out Calico as the overlay network, mainly because Flannel is simple, easy to install, but it doesn't come with lots of features. So Calico comes with lots of features. And the main thing that I wanted to use Calico is I'm about to explore pod security policies, how pods communicate with each other, how to secure the communication or traffic flow between the pods. Basically, it's like a firewall. So you can create security policies saying, so my pod on this namespace can talk to this pod on this namespace. So it's like creating an inbound and outbound ingress and egress rules. It's very similar to firewall. So saying which pod from which namespace can access which pods on which namespace, and so on. So for that feature, for using pod security policies, you have to use a supported overlay network. So Flannel is definitely not supported. I came to know because I tried it, and then I read about the documentation. So Flannel is not one of the supported. And if you want to do pod security policies, you can use Calico or WeaveNet. So I'm using Calico. And also, one of the viewer asked me how to go with Calico in my Vagrant file. So that's the idea. So I've created a separate Bootstrap script I'm going to show you in a minute. And then let's bring up the cluster and see if pod-to-pod communication is working fine. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is to git clone my Kubernetes repository. Git clone https github.com/justme and open source /Kubernetes. Okay, cd to Kubernetes and cd to Vagrant provisioning. So in here, if you see, so that's my Vagrant file, and we have the kube flannel.yaml, that's a customized YAML file, and then we have the bootstrap.shell script, so that's run on all the nodes, all the virtual machines, and then we have bootstrap kworker and bootstrap kmaster. So bootstrap kmaster.shell script. If we take a look at, first let me show you the Vagrant file. So one master, and I'm going through a loop to create two worker nodes. All of them are CentOS 7 virtual machines. So on the master nodes, I'm running bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell script. And on all the worker nodes, I'm running bootstrap underscore kworker.shell script. You can go through the shell scripts, each of those shell scripts. So I've got bootstrap kmaster, bootstrap kworker, and then the general bootstrap.shell script. We can go through them step by step to see what I'm actually doing to bring up the cluster. Okay, so for master, I'm using bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell. If I look at that file, bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell. So that's my file. And you can see here, I'm initializing the cluster. Maybe if I do nope /vi bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell. Okay, that's better. KubeADM init API server advertise address. That's okay. So pod network CIDR is 10.244.0.0/16. So that's the one that's supported by Flannel. So all the pods will get the IP address in the range 10.244. And then we are deploying the Flannel network here. So Vagrant C kubectl create -f and the local kube flannel.yaml. So this kube flannel.yaml file is a customized version to make it work inside VirtualBox, because when you create VirtualBox using Vagrant, you will get two network interfaces. Sorry, just one network interface, ETH0, but that's only for Vagrant to communicate with the virtual machine. So my Vagrant file, I've created a second network interface, host only adapter, so that we can communicate from our host machine to the virtual machine. So for that, I need to modify the kubeflannel.yaml. So that's the customized YAML file. So that's the Flannel thing. And what I have done now is I've created a new Bootstrap script called bootstrap kmaster calico.shell. And if you take a look at that one, bootstrap kmaster underscore calico.shell, it's going to look very similar. And the first difference you will note here is kubeadm init, and the pod network CIDR is 192.168.0.0/16, because all the internal manifest files are tuned or are designed for this IP address. If you want to change this CIDR network, you will have to change the manifest file as well. And then if you look at this command here, kubectl create -f, and that's the URL for the Calico manifest. And I'm using version 3.5 here. I've tried a couple of versions. I think I also tried one of the later versions, but I couldn't get it working. So this one is tried and tested, and it's working fine. So if you want, you can use this one. And to get this working, what you have to do is just rename bootstrap underscore kmaster underscore calico.shell to bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell. That's it. And if I look at it now, so we have bootstrap kworker, kmaster, and the general bootstrap script. So I've just, in case if somebody wants a Flannel, that's why I didn't edit the existing file. So that's two different bootstrap scripts. Okay, so now all we have to do is Vagrant Up and wait for it. Okay, so that's going to bring up the three machines, and I'm going to pause the video here and come back when it's ready. It's going to take like 6 or 7 minutes. All right, all the nodes have been provisioned. So if we go back and look at the kmaster provisioning, so that's our master node, and kubeadm initialization has done all the Calico stuff for us. Kworker1 and Kworker2, so everything is working okay. So now the next thing is to copy the kube config file from one of the nodes. I'm going to choose the master node and copy the kube config file to my local machine so that I can interact with the cluster right from my local host, local workstation. Okay, so before that, if I do cat etc host file, so I've added the IP address and names a DNS entry for each of the nodes, kmaster and kworker1 and kworker2. All right, so let me copy. The command is scp as root to kmaster, and then I'm going to copy etc kubernetes admin.conf. So that's the Kubernetes configuration file. And I'm going to copy that into .cube directory under my home directory, because I'm in my home directory now. So .cube/config. So the name has to be config. And for my virtual machines, I have set the root password to be kubeadmin. KUBEADMIN, kubeadmin. Okay, so we've copied that. So now we can do all kubectl commands. Kubectl version --short. Okay, 1.15.3, that's the server version. The client binary is at 1.15.0, which I downloaded some time ago. Kubectl get nodes. So we have three nodes. All of them are in the ready status. They're all looking good. Kubectl cluster info. Okay, cool. Kubectl -n kube system get pods. And you can see we have the Calico node and the controller proxy and everything. We don't have Flannel because we've deployed the Calico. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test uh, the interpod communication. So I'm going to launch two pods on two different worker nodes and then see if it can communicate with each other. Okay, let me launch another terminal here. And on the right, let me do kubectl or watch command. Watch kubectl get pods -o wide. Okay, so let's do our magic now. So in here, let's launch an Nginx container or a busybox container. Kubectl run my shell -it for interactive mode --rm to remove the pod after I exit out of the shell. --image is busybox and the command is shell. Okay, so I'm launching a busybox container and you can see that here. And let me launch another busybox container. Kubectl run my shell to --it rm image busybox and the shell command. Okay, so we have two containers now. And on the right here, you can see the IP address is 192.168.1.2. If you remember, when I showed you the bootstrap underscore kmaster underscore calico.shell script, the kubeadium init command is using 192.168.0.0/16 as the pod CIDR network. So on the first node, so this pod is running on kworker 1 and this one is running on kworker 2 and it has got its own IP address 192.168.1.2, 192.168.2.2 network. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can ping each other. So that's a basic test we can do to see whether interpod communication, inter-node communication is actually working from one pod to another pod running on a different node. Okay, let's do hostname -i. So that's 192.168.1.2, hostname -i, 192.168.2.2. These two containers are running on two separate worker nodes. Let's see if we can ping each other. Ping 192.168.2.2. Yep, we can ping that. And again from here, ping 192.168.1.2. Okay, cool. So we are able to ping each other. So this is just not showing any different or any new concept here, but I just wanted to show you that I'm also having a Vagrant file that can use Calico as the overlay network. If anyone wants to use Calico for some reason, like for using pod security policies, you can go ahead and use this one. Just rename the bootstrap kmaster calico.shell script to bootstrap underscore kmaster.shell script and use it. For those of you who want to continue using the Flannel overlay network, you don't have to do anything. You can just git clone the repository, go into Vagrant provisioning directory, and then do Vagrant Up. That's it. All will be taken care. All right, thank you for your time watching this video today. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all in another exciting video. Bye bye.